come and tell me that the basis of your religion is that God put himself, that he impregnated a woman named Mary, and she became then his mother. He impregnated his mother and came into the womb of Mary and then was born out of a vagina. To me, the conversation's over. Your religion, to me, has no appeal, because to me that's just disgusting and doesn't make sense. My personal view, right? I respect your right to have your view.
Now, do you think, and I'm not going to get into that now, but do you think that I find certain things about Islam repugnant or attractive or not?
Sure.
Okay. Do you think that it would be rational for me to reject Islam on the basis of my personal revulsion?
Your personal belief has to do with you. If you don't like something in Islam, you have the right to reject it. I didn't come up to you at your table and bring this. You came to me, right?
You technically.
I invited you. You came. You presented your view. To me, it doesn't make sense. I reject it, right? You came. If you want, I will give you the Islamic view. And if you don't like it, you can reject and walk up. Have a nice day and talk apart. My invitations for this conversation, I'm not here to debate. As I said earlier, I'm a da'i, not a debater. If anybody wants to debate, like you apparently do, you're welcome to come here. But if I disagree, if I feel that this doesn't, I mean, God coming in the vagina of a woman and being born and the universe, and
You're making the category mistake of people accepting it as true and people accepting it as logical or rational. Something can be false and still be logical, right? Let me give you an example.
Sure, I'm listening.
It's not irrational for somebody to be walking down the street right now with an umbrella. That doesn't mean somebody is walking down the street with an umbrella. There's a difference between making something that's logically possible as a claim and somebody making a factually true statement. What I was getting at is that conceptually the world has not held that. When you enlist people like Jews, for example, that's not really helping, because Jews, how many Jews are there in the world? You know that, as well as I do, there's not that many in the world, and certainly not compared to either Islam or Christianity. The vast majority of people have not considered the Christian belief irrational, that the Creator could enter into his creation or be present in his creation, which is basically the same idea. The vast majority have not thought that, even if the vast majority have not believed it. Although I would say statistically, more people are Christian than there are Muslims or other religions.
Can I speak now?
Yes.
See how I listen? Now, when you said the vast majority of the world does not agree with what I'm saying, right, or has no problem with that concept, you have no evidence for that. You're making an assumption. Let me speak, because the vast majority is not Christian, right? And the other groups of faith, you're making an assumption on their behalf, which I am only assuming for myself. I said, to me, that doesn't make sense, right? I didn't make a claim that the vast majority of the world would agree with me. But the issue is that your claim is wrong, because you're making an assumption about the vast majority of the world. But again, like David said, I think you're just going off just because you took a tangent, right?
No, I think the point he's simply making is Hindus, of course, reject Christianity. But it's not on the base. They're not saying we reject it because it's absurd to think of God being born. Because if their scripture said it, they would say, okay,
but you're making an assumption on the Hindu belief that they would accept that.
I'm thinking of what Hinduism teaches. They believe all kinds of things like Christian that shows that they would not have a problem.
Again, I will not make an assumption if they would or would not believe an Islamic doctrine was in their books, and you should not make an assumption that they would or would not believe a Christian doctrine that would be in their books.